one. It says, the title goes, the way my boyfriend communicates is driving me insane. This past week, there has been tension between us this week. I haven't had time to address it until today. I asked him, hey, can we have a check-in? How have you been feeling this week? To which he proceeds to say, I'm feeling good. Nothing's wrong, so I think it must be coming from you. How are you feeling? To that, I said, well, I've noted that this week there's been a tension and I haven't been able to put my finger on it. This is where he becomes infuriating. His tone shifts to extremely defensive. Well, you've been saying mean things to me all week, he said. And this is what drives me up a tree, is that whenever I ask him how he's feeling, he says he's okay. He's good, but defensively, like, I'm good. Are you? I'm not sure if that's an indication of an avoidance attachment style, but I'm close to being burnt out from it. Every time I try to do a check-in, he does this thing where he says things like, why? Are you feeling anxious again? I'm good, so it must be you. And I can't tell if it's gaslighting me because always, he ends up bringing up so many things and holding it above my head when I have no idea he was feeling that way, even though I asked him how he was feeling. The conversation went nowhere. He ended up saying something like, I figured it was your hormones. And I just lost it and said, I'm going to my parents' house. So I grabbed his keys because I left mine in there. And he tells me, you can take those. You can't take those. As if I were taking the liberty to just drive his car around. It's almost like he's ready to play me up as an insane woman and victimize himself. And the fact that he feels like he needs to tell me that I couldn't take his car, to me, is so childish. Oof. Now, Nerdsy! I'm joking.
She's valid to her feelings. But I think even in saying all of that, what she said is a lot. I mean, the fact that she feels like her reality is being twisted is enough to be enough.
That's, yeah.
Anytime you feel that way, most times your intuition is pretty correct.
Here's the thing now. This is one issue that I'm going to say that I feel like it complicates multiple relationships.
Okay.
Men, women, whatever, relationships as a whole. If you're not okay, say you are not okay. Listen to me. No, like I'm tired of asking people I think there has to be a change in that aspect of being like, hey, everything okay? You notice the tension. Someone has to be, I would say, mature, or I would say, I don't know, to be able to say, no, I'm not okay. Don't say I'm fine. Don't say a thing because you're tired. And then that person says, okay, you're fine. And then you go, oh, you don't even want to take in the problem. I asked you what the problem was. This is a common thing I've heard in multiple relationships.
Okay.
It's interesting as a
gender
role.
You hear the gender role, yeah.
Because most of the time you hear it
from women.
The connotation is women that do that the most, but in this case it's flipped. It seems like he's doing it like, oh, I'm.
That's why I said both sides. I'll say it's both.
I can say that.
That's why I'm saying both sides, because I've heard the situation on one side, I've heard the situation on the other side, and both of it is wrong. If you are feeling a ways, say you're feeling a ways so you could solve the problem efficiently and effectively.
But not everyone's ready to take your truth, though. Sometimes
take your truth. Whoa.
Okay, but let the truth be out in the open. And if you want to touch it, it burns, or you have to wait till it cool off.
But that's what I mean. He did start sharing some of the stuff. However, she never stated what he stated. She was more concerned on the fact that, okay, I asked you. He could be actually fine. He could be.
No, and that's true. That is true.
And then turn around and be like, well, I noticed you were the one who was acting some type of way. I mean, clearly, if she's acting some type of way, what are you going to do? It's like, okay, like, you seem like you're pretty cold this week, so usually we would snuggle. We're not snuggling because you seem pretty upset. I'm okay. I don't know what's happening with you.
Thing. Sometimes some people are okay. It's like, I just, like,
right? You see what I'm saying?
like, you're acting different. It's like, what? You're over here when you used to be right here. I mean,
it's nothing really
it's nothing,
different. Like,
I mean, I understand, but like, you know, like, it's just weird because sometimes it's like, let's say an argument happens, right? And the argument just happened, and then next, you know, somebody's on the couch now, or someone's over here now, and we don't know if it's settled, but that person's here and that person's there now, and then you go, why are you over there? I mean, I'm not sure if the smoke's cleared, and maybe I like it over here.
Right? Maybe the seat's cold.
Or maybe it's comfy over here. You know what? The couch is not that bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that it's attention. It could be anything. Like, and that's the thing. I guess that's where communication is key, and I think that's where the problem is. I do think that he did make her seem kind of crazy. He's like, I'm fine.
But
Something's wrong
yes,
with you.
that's where I was going to say, the part where I'm like, we don't know what the actual, like, grievances that he was stating, but what I do feel like how it was lined up in the delivery based on her account is that said I'm okay, said all these problems, and then said I just assumed it was
You were mad at me.
you were mad at me. Are you? Because it seems like you're mad at me. That part now is the part where I'm like,
sometimes the thing about it, sometimes the mind be playing tricks on you though. And I think people don't realize that.
Shout out to Scarface.
You know, minds would be playing tricks on you. You'd be thinking your lady or your partner or whatever is mad at you, and you just want to step back and clear the air. Like, silence is a deadly thing. When you're by yourself, sometimes idleness and silence, your mind will think any other way, and she might be fine, but because of what happened, you don't know if you want to engage the issue or whatever. Like, you don't know what you could do. So you just feel
awful dating market.
Like, saying, oh man, I gotta go in that room. She just kicked me out. I left my charger. Oh, like, you know what I mean?
That's a funny one, actually.
You know what I mean?
That's a funny one.
Like, you guys just got to the argument and you gotta go back in the house to like get something.
You have to look.
It's like, oh, you're back? Yeah. God, I didn't want to win this way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it might not even be the case.
it's crazy that
But-
couples even go through that as well.
You know, people go through that. You know what I mean? That's why I think, yeah, they have to implement a healthy way of communication in both parties.
Yeah.
But to flip it and be like, oh, it's making me look crazy. I mean,
Why would you even think that though? And the whole gaslighting. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's a.
Like, if you really are out here saying that you feel gaslit, sis, that's a serious claims.
Yeah, it is.
Like, that's mental abuse. Like, out here flipping your whole reality, making you to feel that you're.
But that question is, are you feeling anxious again? Is a little SO.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Petro Canada.
But that could also mean that he is also very in tune with her emotions. So when she has these like when she has these mental roller coasters where she might be seeming like a little paranoid by his behavior, that could be her anxiety. And he's just like, all right, he's really doing a check-in with her. Right? So we don't know. It could be also that as well.
The keyword is anxiety again.
And the problem is, but that's the thing, and that's that battle with communication, because you could ask her back, are you okay? Everything's okay with you? But for you to be like, yo, what's wrong with you? Is it that time? Like, is it your emotion?
Those things.
Like, if you say those type of things, it kind of just be like, what, you saying I'm crazy? It's like, well, no, I mean,
You're saying the only times I
biologically,
can ask
like,
question?
you know what I mean? Like, people gaslight that.
Yeah, no, for real.
But doesn't that time in the month actually influence?
No.
Some
No.
people, not
No.
all people. You have to know who you're with.
And that's the thing.
So 90
Wow.
No.
I cannot. It
That
is a
was
case by
Del
case
Pesh.
system.
That was Del Pesh. Here at the vet, we do not support. Everybody's their own person on what they say.
Rolling.
But yeah, no, but the harsh reality is, you know, like, there is that battle within that aspect too. Like,
I mean, there's a lot of scenarios that could be taken out of context or in context for the scenario.
and also if they're texting, that makes the biggest difference too.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of things get interpreted crazy via texting. Like,
Facts.
I could text something, and for some reason it comes with an attitude, and I'm like, I wasn't even
Because
you can read
the way
it.
that it's
You can
worded.
feel it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like you're thinking I'm saying it like aggressively, and it's not that.
And this is why English is important, guys. Tone. It's called tone in writing, okay? All right.
Just FaceTime. FaceTime puts out a whole bunch of...
Not everybody wants to talk about it, though.
But that's
I'm one of those people I don't like talking on the phone. If we have a conflict, I don't like talking on the phone.
I think that's the
Because
best.
tonality
That's the best thing, though.
will then start to like
That's the
be
best
taken out of
thing.
context
It's
sometimes.
the best thing to do. Sometimes
You
I'm
won't
like
hear what
that too.
saying. You'll just hear the tone.
No, it's the truth. Sometimes the best thing.
I'm more in person, like, yeah.
It is the best thing to do when you're on the phone talking, though. It's hard.